I'm Sergeant 12XU, and today we're going to do an in-depth walk around of my 2015 Jeep Rubicon, so stick around. We'll start with the front end. So first thing you see is the headlights. Those are LED headlights that are basically a JW speaker knockoff. And then also LED fog lights. The front bumper is a metal cloak, frame-built modular bumper. The LED pods are made by Warren. The winch is a Warren Xeon 10S with a synthetic line, and that is a Factor 55 flat link. Obviously we have the high lift jack mounted to the front bumper. Come around to the hood latches. These are rugged ridge hood latches, and the limb risers are homemade using supplies from Lowe's. The light bar is a 40-inch light bar, 240 watts. And the attachment points for the limb risers, these are actually fire stick CB brackets, the mirror mount ones that I ended up using to attach this line to. If you look at the tires are KO2s, BFGs, excellent all-terrain tire. And these are sized in 315, 17, 315, 70, 17. The wheels are Mickey Thompson 17 by 9s. Here we have the Cargo Master Safari steps. These are folding steps. They fold in, they stay there. Same thing with the rear. Let's continue going around and looking at some of the lighting. So everything's mounted to a Gobi Stealth rack. It's a plug and play. It bolts onto the Jeep. No drilling, no cutting. And here we have some alley lights with some tubular brackets. These are 18-watt lights, and the two center elements are spot and the four outers are flood. And we have two per side. Coming around the rear, we have a rear light, and this is 100% flood. And then here we have another one, and this one works as a work light. Here's the Gobi ladder on this side. And you can't see the other light because it's covered here. Here's another one. So here we have a quick disconnect and a fire stick antenna, and it's tunable via the tip. And that is a Terraflex stainless steel mount. So here we have the X-Bull traction boards. wedged in between the tent and the 14-gallon fuel cell. So we're actually pumping gas right now. And the batwing awning. And the Tough Stuff Ranger tent. So here you can see the Rhino Rack batwing 270-degree awning fully deployed. So here's my Tough Stuff Ranger tent. We'll climb up the ladder and take a peek inside. Here you can see it's got a 2.5-inch mattress, a bunch of windows that open up from the inside and the outside, and they all have mesh screens. Here we're walking around the outside of the tent. It currently has a rain fly on it and all the windows are shut. The Tough Stuff Ranger tent comes with an annex that zips to the underside of the floor and extends down to the ground. Here you can see in the background I have it installed, but I don't have the floor zipped into it. So this is the trashy-roo bag. It's pretty helpful for carrying trash, firewood, things like that. And it just crisscrosses and mounts right over the spare. And right here we have the Brand Motion HD rear camera, and that interfaces with the factory 430N radio system. I mounted it there because typically it's mounted in here to the wheel, but with the trashy-roo there, it's kind of pointless. So for suspension, we have a Metal Cloak 3.5-inch mid-arm lift with Fox 2.0 remote reservoir shocks. And here you can see the ARB rear diff cover. Go around to the front. And you can see the remote reservoir Fox 2.0s. And here you can kind of see some of the Metal Cloak hardware. You can see a control arm right there. For armor, we have the LOD rock sliders. You can see these right here. And these are steel, and they're frame mount. Underneath we have a Fox steering stabilizer. We have the ARB front diff cover. And the entire underside is all covered with rock hard armor. So the entire underneath of the Jeep is armored with steel plating. And one of my favorite mods is this dead pedal. So Jeep didn't come with a dead pedal, but here we have one. All the mats are the Mopar mats, front and rear. And here are the Mopar sill skids. And those are front and rear. Also have these grab bars here. Extremely sturdy. And they just tie into factory points. No drilling, no cutting. So here we have a 67 Designs mount. Two arms that have ball and socket joints on them. And then here we have an iPad mini running Gaia maps. Typically I'll mount my phone right here, and these swivel around and you can reposition them however you want. So here we have Garmin InReach Explorer Plus, which has satellite communication, two-way texting, SOS beacon, all that kind of stuff. And then this is a mic for the Cobra 29LX. And the radio is a 8-watt Baofeng ham radio, and the mount that you see there that it clips into along with the CB mic is made by Jeep Unique, and I happen to have the external mic on it, so here you can see it's a lot easier to use that way. For controlling all of the electronics, meaning the lights, we have an S-Pod, and I'll pop the hood in a minute and you can check that out. So the S-Pod has control of 6 circuits here. So air compressor, bumper lights, roof rack lights, rear lights, driver's side alley lights, passenger side alley lights. And we can turn the illumination off with that button. All right, let's go under the hood, take a look. Okay, now we're under the hood. Let's take a look at the power. So this is a Genesis dual battery kit. See, Genesis makes the bracket here. You have to take out your plastic frame that holds everything in from the factory. You have to cut that out and put in this metal weldment. So for batteries, we have two Odyssey Extreme PC 1500 batteries. And here we have the smart isolator switch, which protects your main battery, which is here. This is your auxiliary battery. So you can draw this one down to 0, but this one will always be protected by that isolator. If battery voltage drops below 12.7 volts, it kills the circuit and it draws all power from this. If you need to bridge the two together, you push this button here, it's a momentary, and you get power from both batteries at the same time. Let's come over here and look at the S-Pod. So this is the S-Pod. It is a fused relay bank that has 6 individual circuits that are tied to the switches that I showed you earlier in the cab. So essentially you run all your power and ground for all your auxiliary lighting or whatever you're using. You route it into here, and there's 6 individual terminals. and this one's sitting on a metal cloak bracket. So here we have onboard air. It's an ARB single piston compressor that's mounted right over the brake booster. So it's adequate for these tire sizes. However, it would be nice to upgrade to a dual piston. Thanks for sticking around with this rough video. Some of you are probably wondering, what am I going to do next? Well, it looks like we're going to do a fridge in the rear with a full drawer build out. So stay tuned. Until then, I'll see you on the trail.